Hello and many thanks for joining us on the news at 10 on the network service of the NTA. I'm Chimobi Walter Naji. Let's take the headlines. President Buhari receives Governor Dave Umahi, describes his defection to governing party as stabilizing factor to Nigeria's political landscape. Improved healthcare delivery in sight as President Buhari inaugurates several landmark projects at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. Policymakers and sanitation experts advocate synergy among partners to end open defecation in Nigeria. Senate President calls on professional bodies in Nigeria to be fully involved in crime prevention and detection. Many thanks for being with us. Now, the defection of Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State into the APC has been described as not only a good omen for the governing party, but is a stabilizing factor to the nation's political landscape. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this while formally receiving the governor at his official residence Thursday evening. Damusambu reports.
Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State was accompanied to the State House by a delegation of the Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the APC, led by the chairman and governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni.
Well, you better get it correct.
This is coming less than 24 hours after Governor Umahi, who is the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, was formally welcomed into the APC family at a grand occasion in Abakaliki, attended by governors and other critical stakeholders of the party. He is here to formally affirm his allegiance, loyalty and support to President Muhammadu Buhari, leader of the governing party and indeed the federal government. Speaking to NTA News after their closed-door engagement that lasted 45 minutes, President Buhari described the evening as one of his best in the seat of government.
I admired his courage. I told him it's an environment that has been thoroughly combated to PDP. For him to come out and join us now is a great thing for the party. The party has been very lucky to have him. And it's stabilizing the national politics, for a governor from the southeast, to come back and join APC at this stage. Already you, the press, are speculating that he wants to be president. What's wrong with that?
For Governor Dave Umahi, with the tremendous benefits derived by Ebonyi State from the APC-led federal government, joining the party is the least he can do to show appreciation.
There is every reason for every person from Southeast to re-examine, my purpose of leaving the PDP, and they know that the people of Southeast will have no place in PDP. If you come to my state, you will see quite a lot of development. And these developments were not done with the FAC allocation. They were done by special intervention of Mr. President. I can boldly say that under Mr. President, I have developed Ebonyi State. So if I've been at the periphery and I got all this development for my people, I said, look, we have to play at the center. And moreover, it is important that the people of Southeast should, for once, stop being in opposition.
Maybe some other zones are well placed and they can generate money locally. Our people have investment all over the country. Direct investment, not portfolio investment, direct investment. And we need to protect it. If Nigeria is strong, the Igbos will do better. The solidarity of Nigeria is very important to us. So we belong to the center. That's where our people have always been. We feel comfortable playing with the national politics.
The chairman, caretaker committee of the APC and governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, is optimistic that the governing party will continue to get bolstered.
The entire APC family is very happy because our priority as a party is peace, unity, progress, and national development under the able leadership of our president and leader, President Muhammad Buhari. And we are rebuilding our party. Many more are joining, many more are coming.
We are quite excited that the vision of our party leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, the vision of the foundation fathers who brought APC together to be a party for all Nigerians is coming back strong.
It is not just one more governor joining us. This is one performing governor, one governor who has given an excellent account of himself in terms of bringing development to his state.
APC now controls 20 out of the 36 states of the Federation. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And several landmark projects executed at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital have been inaugurated towards enhancing health care delivery. President Muhammadu Buhari described the event as a reflection of federal government's commitment towards improving lives and livelihoods, as well as creating the enabling environment for growth, peace and progress. Here is State House correspondent Adamu once again reports that the projects were inaugurated virtually by the President.
Amongst the impressive projects inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari is the 150-bed, fully equipped trauma center, which comes with a helipad to provide latest multidisciplinary care to those in need. Others were the new General Outpatient Department, a complex for the National Health Insurance Scheme, a multipurpose auditorium and conference center constructed and furnished by the Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum, as well as a new hostel for the School of Nursing of the teaching hospital.
The value of these projects to our healthcare system cannot be underestimated. Emerging diseases have made it necessary for all nations to increase and improve resource application, adapting to the new normal.
President Muhammadu Buhari urged the citizens to take advantage of the excellent facilities, while the operators to imbibe maintenance culture as government sustained efforts at rendering affordable and quality healthcare with broad coverage.
I should direct the head of service and the budget office to look into the request of University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital for an increase in the personnel and overhead allocation so as to optimize services provided by the activation of these new projects. Nigeria is proud of your achievements. I urge all staff to continue to work together harmoniously for the benefit of citizens. I assure you of my commitment to improve healthcare delivery services all over Nigeria.
Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, in a goodwill message, said Borno State will continue to collaborate more effectively with the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital towards the provision of basic healthcare needs in Borno, the home of peace.
These landmark projects were timely, considering the health challenges the state is facing as a result of the lingering security challenges. Indeed, we are short of working to thank Mr. President for his tireless support to the government and people of Borno State in fighting the insurgency and many other interventions. And so our collective prayers are with you, Your Excellency.
I would like to express WHO commitment to continue to support the university and the government to make sure that the communities in the Borno State have the services of the quality they require.
Assisting and protecting lives affected by armed conflict and violence is always a collective effort. I strongly believe that this physical rehabilitation center will demonstrate that in the years to come.
During the event, participants applauded the management of the teaching hospital for its partnership with the ICRC that produced a fully operational physical rehabilitation center in support of the stabilization drive in Borno State. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The international community has been urged to make concerted efforts towards addressing the tuberculosis epidemic using latest available technology. Now, these were the remarks of President Muhammadu Buhari contained in his goodwill message to the Roundtable Conference of the Board of the Global Stop TB Partnership hosted by Nigeria.
If we fail in the fight to reverse the current trend in TB prevalence, TB will continue to fight us and lead to avoidable loss of lives, especially among the economically productive age group and amongst our most vulnerable groups, especially women. It is imperative that we not only commit to ending the TB epidemic as one of the milestones enshrined in the SDGs, but also to institute an accountability element and to ensure that our commitment translates to achievement of desired results.
The President appreciated the tremendous work done by sub-TB partnership at global and national levels to attending the epidemic despite numerous challenges.
Preventable and curable disease like TB is still one of the leading causes of death worldwide, and efforts at ending it are now complicated because of coronavirus. Nigeria ranks among those countries bearing the brunt of an increasing burden of TB, with a growing number of missing TB cases. I would like to use this platform to reaffirm my commitment to providing needed political leadership and support, facilitating collaboration with other governments and partners as we work together to end TB in Nigeria and globally.
The President said the reversal of Nigeria's difficult health indices remains a top priority of his administration. As Nigeria joins the global community to mark this year's World Toilet Day, policymakers and sanitation experts are advocating synergy among partners as a way of ending open defecation and achieving a clean and green nation. Oluseyi Adiagbo reports.
The United Nations campaign on the need for countries to build toilets and end open defecation globally has been intensified. International partners are joining in the action to tackle the global sanitation crisis with the target of achieving Sustainable Development Goal 6, water and sanitation for all, by 2030, hence the need for a special day of awareness. Ukuvuli Eze has been selling food items in Jabi area of Abuja for over 20 years. He tells me he's not aware of the World Toilet Day.
World Toilet Day. Today what I know about it.
He's now better educated thanks to the initiative of sanitary experts who took the campaign to his shop. The Ministry of Environment is championing the cause alongside Ministry of Water Resources and others. The meeting is an opportunity for stakeholders to speak on the federal government's plan towards providing sanitary facilities, particularly toilets across the country, and challenging Nigerians to be responsive to the cause of sanitation and hygiene.
Once Nigerians accept the importance of having a toilet of their own, and states, local governments, and private sector are able to provide the much-needed toilet facilities around communities, then I think we're in progress.
Apart from providing the alternatives, then the education, enlightenment campaign, which is part of why we're here today. And then third, the buy-in of the people.
And I want to say this for the private sector, that they should come and invest in provision of toilet, because shit business is a serious business.
Inside bush is a poison, but inside toilet is a normal something.
Why someone like Okuvuli Eze is now frowning against the practice of open defecation following the awareness he just received, there is no doubt that spreading the information is critical to meeting the target of open defecation-free Nigeria by 2025. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA News.
And this is the news at 10 on the network service of the NTA from Abuja. Still ahead. Federal government reacts to CNN report on NSAS. Glad to have you back on the news. Now, lack of funding for the implementation of nutrition activities and cultural beliefs have been identified as leading causes of the high cases of malnourished children under the age of 5 in Kano State. Fatima Sanusi Karaye reports that stakeholders brainstormed on the effects of malnutrition on the socio-economic growth of the society, which may perpetuate the cycle of poverty and ill health.
This is 26-month-old Larry, so uncomfortable, crying for food. Will she be able to live to see her 3rd birthday? Statistics from the Kano State Ministry of Health indicates that 10.8% of children within the age bracket of 6 months to 5 years are presently suffering from malnutrition and are prone to life-threatening severe acute malnutrition. To respond to this, stakeholders organized a one-day seminar for health caregivers on the implications of malnutrition. The nutrition officer, Kano State Ministry of Health, Halima Musa Yakase, faulted deficit in dietary diversification and lack of funding of the minimum nutrition service package as some of the reasons for increase in malnutrition-related deaths.
They don't have the vitamins or minerals that can fight against the diseases. In the class, you will find out that some of the children, they cannot understand what the teacher is teaching.
We want all the health facilities to follow what has been designed in the policy. That is the only way we can have effective health services.
Adding that Kano is blessed with abundant natural nutritious food items that are affordable, but parents lack the knowledge. Therefore, experts are advocating increase in funding and implementation of the minimum nutrition service package, as well as create more awareness on how to prepare locally sourced nutritious food for children like Larry at little or no cost. In Kano, Fatima Sanusi Garai, NTA News.
Now, efforts of the First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, in the fight against the coronavirus has received a boost with the donation of equipment from an international donor, Jack Ma, a co-founder of Alibaba Group. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the donation came through the headquarters of the Organization of African First Ladies for Development in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
The consignment, which comprises different types of face masks and other personal protective equipment, came to Nigeria via the headquarters of the Organization of the African First Ladies for Development in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. For further delivery, the Special Assistant to the President on OFLAT, Muhammad Al-Bishir, has formally presented the items to the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women Affairs and Administration, Dr. Hajosani, for onward distribution and the utilization of the items. The essence of this laudable gesture contained in a letter attached by the donor, Jack Ma, a co-founder of Alibaba Group, was to support the effort of the First Lady in the fight against COVID-19, bearing in mind that the pandemic is still with us.
This one coming from the Jack Foundation and the Alibaba Foundation to us is not too late, because still there is so much need for this type of medical palliatives, especially the face masks. This one we are receiving the consignment. We are very happy on behalf of Her Excellency for this foundation, the Jack Foundation, to remember African First Lady and to send this consignment through the Organization of African First Lady for Development in their office in Addis Ababa.
And everybody knows the world and Africa especially, we're all going through the challenges of this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic. And it will go a long way in saving lives and protecting our citizens, both women and especially children, because there's a consignment specifically for children in this, which is very touching. We're moved by this.
The First Lady, however, cautioned all Nigerians to remain proactive in taking precautionary measures towards curbing the spread of COVID-19 to ensure total control of the pandemic. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
New data from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) indicates 146 new cases of COVID-19 have been recorded in Nigeria, bringing the total number of confirmed cases to 65,839. Of these, 146 new cases recorded in 11 states and the FCT. Lagos has 62, FCT 23, Kaduna 21, Ogun and Rivers states have 12 cases each, as Ondo records 5. Oyo and Plateau have 3 cases each, as Bauchi and Katsina have 2 cases, while Kano has 1 case. Lagos has altogether confirmed 22,766 COVID-19 cases, followed by the FCT with 6,422. Plateau is coming third with 3,733 cases, and Oyo has so far recorded 3,698 cases. A total of 61,573 recovered patients have been discharged, with an unfortunate 1,165 deaths on record. Now, the federal government says it will not condone a situation where some self-styled human rights bodies and jaundiced media organizations will continue to harass the country's security agencies over the rule during the NSAS crisis across the country. Now, this was contained in a media briefing by the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, in Abuja. Anthony Forson has the report.
It's no longer news that the NSAS protest last month degenerated into mindless violence after it was hijacked by hoodlums, which in its wake left lingering issues begging for answers. But let's take the matter on its merit. The NSAS protesters came up with 5 demands. The federal government accepted and in a swift reaction conceded to the demands, with President Muhammadu Buhari assuring that the disbanding of SARS is the first step in our commitment to extensive police reforms in order to ensure that the primary duty of the police and other law enforcement agents remain the protection of lives and livelihoods of our people. The federal government was indeed responsive and responsible in meeting the demands of the NSAS protesters, but frowned at the use of fake news and disinformation, which aggravated the crisis and paved way for foreign media to equally mislead the rest of the world.
The irresponsible use of the social media by some unscrupulous persons aggravated the violence that erupted in the wake of the NSAS protests and helped to precipitate the violence. CNN goofed in a preconceived stance that the soldiers who were deployed to Lekki toll gate indeed shot at protesters, killing some of them. CNN relied heavily on unverified and possibly doctored videos, as well as information sourced from questionable sources, to reach its conclusion. This should earn CNN a serious sanction for irresponsible reporting.
While the National Economic Council has directed that panel of inquiry be set in all the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, people with genuine complaints backed with facts should approach the panel. The federal government, Lai Mohammed maintained, appreciates the role of security agencies for acting professionally through the show of utmost restraint all along the NSAS protests and the ensuing violence. Therefore, right groups should cease inflaming passion.
It's also disheartening that the human rights organizations have not seen anything wrong in the mindless violence that was perpetrated in the name of NSAS.
On DJ Switch, the minister called her to
quit peddling falsehood and present her case with verifiable evidence to the judicial panel sitting in Lagos. No agency of government has declared her wanted. Hence, she has no reason fleeing or seeking asylum anywhere.
He was, however, quick to explain the federal government's stand on NBC's sanctioning of some broadcast stations, saying it is justified in view of the unprofessional act of such organizations, which were a clear breach of NBC code. On the whole, the minister expressed sadness at the rate in which mayhem was unleashed on security agents, killing and maiming them in a barbaric manner, which claimed the lives of 6 soldiers and 37 policemen around the country. This, he said, is in addition to 196 that sustained varying degrees of injuries. Taking stock, 164 police vehicles were destroyed. 134 police stations were razed. Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the Nigerian Customs Service, and Nigerian Immigration Service all lost infrastructures, equipment, and other valuables during the attack by the hoodlums. 8 medium security custodial centers in 6 states were attacked, and 1,957 inmates set free and 31 staff injured. To this end, Lai Mohammed said the federal government is not in any way planning to shut down social media. It will equally not fold its arms to allow its abuse, saying no nation can afford that. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And similarly, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has described as unprofessional and mere sensationalism a report by cable news network CNN on NSAS protests in Lekki, Lagos State. The reaction is part of the minister's briefing while commenting on a report aired on CNN, which prides itself as the world's leader of news. Anthony Forson here again reports.
CNN investigated the events at Lekki Tollgate the night of October 20th in Lagos, Nigeria.
Like everyone else, Lai Mohammed said he watched this report on CNN.
CNN goofed in a preconceived stance that the soldiers who were deployed to Lekki Tollgate indeed shot at protesters, killing some of them. CNN relied heavily on unverified and possibly doctored videos, as well as information sourced from questionable sources, to reach its conclusion. This should earn CNN a serious sanction for irresponsible reporting.
The minister, however, posed some salient questions.
In its jaundiced reporting, CNN was blind to the fact that 6 soldiers and 37 policemen were killed in unprovoked attacks. Obviously, CNN did not consider the security agents human enough. CNN, in its investigation, was blind to the wanton destruction of property in Lagos and across the country. Instead, it went to town with unverified social media footages in its desperation to prove that people were killed at the Lekki Tollgate. Again, this is irresponsible journalism for which CNN deserves to be sanctioned.
Lai Mohammed recalled how CNN had tweeted on the 23rd of October that the military had killed 38 people, only to turn around in the latest report to quote that only 1 person was killed. This misrepresentation of facts, Lai Mohammed says, brings the credibility of CNN to question. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
All right, this is the news at 10 on NTA News 24 live from Abuja. More news after the break, including federal government considers parallel academic union for universities.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, a national communion.
Dialogue, empathy, love, and unity. These are vital components of nation building.
We have lived in harmony with the Igbos, with the Hausas, with the Edo. Everybody that comes to this state, we have lived in harmony. Because we believe in the unity of this country.
We call for peace, we call for calm, but we also call for justice and accountability.
Let's build and not destroy.
This is the network service of the NTA.
is now set for the 3rd Diaspora Investment Summit, and the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, in partnership with the Nigeria Diaspora Summit Initiative, held a briefing ahead of the summit. Please sit back for more details on this. And also, Jigawa State has some hidden treasures for her diaspora to tap into. I bet you do not want to miss this either. And also not forgetting the plea of the Nigerian Union of Traders Association Ghana to be evacuated back to Nigeria. I have these and much more for you on this edition. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy this power-packed edition of your favorite program, The Diaspora. And I am your host, Koinsola Adetunbi. Of the 2-day virtual Diaspora Investment Summit, the Chairman CEO Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, spotlighted on the benefits and deliverables from the summit. Enjoy the details.
The theme of this year's summit is post-COVID economic resurgence, targeting diaspora investment. Now, this is a summit that I recommend everyone who is interested in investment to attend. Now, this online investment summit for Nigerians in the diaspora will have several keynote speakers, discussions, meeting rooms, exhibition halls, and they will all be hosted live on a virtual platform. You're free to attend anywhere you are in the world. This 2-day virtual summit is aimed at creating an avenue for prospective, meaningful, and sustainable diaspora investment to be relied upon to boost economic growth in Nigeria. The virtual summit will also showcase the investment opportunities and developmental framework put in place to make investing in Nigeria more attractive to Nigeria diaspora investors. Now, the key areas we'll be focusing on this year will include healthcare, education, agribusiness, creative, entertainment and sports, telecommunication, ICT, fintech, and manufacturing. Now, the aim, as we've said before, is to establish a platform where diaspora investors can interact with potential sponsors, partners, collaboration, and government. They will have direct roundtable deals for mutual benefits.
We all know the situations that's been going on in the country, and we need to fix our country. Who best to fix our country if not us? But we know we cannot do it alone. America did not do it alone, talk less of us. Whatever happens in Nigeria really affects the rest of the world, even more so than what happens over there affects us. A lot of our investment in Nigeria for export, import reasons, we need to really focus on the social and the economic opportunities for our people, how to help them. We look at the grassroots, we look at the small businesses. These are the people that will have the profound effect. This summit will impact them in the most profitable way.
Kudos to NIDCOM and NDSI for a wonderful partnership. We anticipate a great event.
Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, in collaboration with the Nigeria Diaspora Summit Initiative, presents the 3rd Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit, NDIS 2020. Date, 20th to the 21st of November. Theme, post-COVID-19 economic resurgence, targeting diaspora investment, sectors, healthcare, education, agribusiness, creative, entertainment and sports, telecoms, ICT, fintech, real estate, manufacturing, venue, virtual by Zoom. Potential investors and ample opportunities. For participation and sponsorship, visit www.ndis.gov.ng.
Still on investments, let's take a listen to the DG Jigawa State Investment Promotion Agency, Ms. Furera Isma Jumari's interview.
What we want to do is showcase what we have to those that are in the diaspora, but in an organized way. Because we're the one-stop shop for investment. We're meant to be a resource for potential investors, as well as an agency that facilitates investments. So once an investor is interested in our state, will handhold that investor until the investor gets what he wants.
And there's return on investment.
Oh yes, definitely, because it's in our interest. Our interest, of course, is that ROI for the investor as well, because we know in the end it's a benefit to us. We are looking long term. So apart from renewable energy, like we said, we have the God-given bright sun in Jigawa State. And agriculture, like I said, agriculture, we're talking about the entire value chain from production to marketing, export. But then again, we're talking light manufacturing. We have a shoe factory in Jigawa State where shoes are being exported from. But because we have not showcased enough, I think that's why sometimes questions are asked regarding what we have in the state. We have industrial parks that we're working on. We have an industrial park that is already ready, and we have an agricultural industrial park as well that is being prepared for investors that want to come in. So what we want to do is make sure we are ready. You come in, for example, in the industrial park, you come in, there's power, there's infrastructure.
Good to hear the great opportunities put in place for Jigawa State indigents in the diaspora. And now not fewer than 753 Nigerians living and working in Ghana under the auspices of Nigerian Union of Traders Association in Ghana, NUTAG, have asked to be evacuated from Ghana. The appeal was convened during a courtesy visit to the Chairman CEO Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa in Abuja. Please take a listen.
Our shops in Ghana were closed, in fact have been closed perennially. Our businesses have been under lock and key. Our people are crying and weeping. Our members are molested, harassed, and sometimes tortured. And I'm going to express that. And when a man's means of livelihood is under lock and key, you are pushing that man to engage in other vices as a means of survival. On this last late, the Speaker of the House of Reps flew to Ghana, had meetings and discussions with the Ghanaian officials, and they promised that as soon as he leaves, the shops were going to be opened. In fact, he even met with parliamentarians as well, his fellow parliamentarians. And they said, no, this is injustice. As soon as he leaves, these shops will be opened. After all, we are in the same ECOWAS community. And we clapped. But, unfortunately, as he came back, the shops remained locked. It didn't stop there. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs invited the High Commissioner, the Ghanaian High Commissioner, to his office and had discussions. The High Commissioner promised that they were already working on opening the shops, and we felt everything was okay. Honorable Chair, the highest point of this perhaps is that our Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, came to Ghana on the sides of the ECOWAS summit on Mali and had a meeting with our members at the Nigerian High Commission house. He was not happy. He had to meet with some government officials in Ghana. And thereafter, he was promised that the shops are going to be opened. We saw press releases flying around, and we were clapping. The president of Ghana President Nana Akufo-Addo, came to Nigeria on his visiting tour to ECOWAS Commission. And he had a meeting with our own dear President Muhammad Buhari. And he promised that those shops were going to be open. And Nigeria and Ghana do not have any problem. Our Ghanaian president went back. If at that highest political level, the solution still remains too far, not in sight, then it's hopeless. But the problem is that because of the long and overstretched closure of their businesses, many of the landlords are knocking at their doors now. Pay, renew your rent. How would a man who has not been doing business for several months lay hands on funds to pay for rent? The banks where they borrowed money from to do their businesses are knocking. Interests are reading. What do they do? Some of the women among them are contemplating suicide. And of course, you recall that at a point, one of our members in Ghana, one woman, had to commit suicide over this matter. And we felt at that time that human feeling, that moral consciousness will come in to display. It never happened. It is important for us to also recall, when we're looking at what our people, our traders are suffering, you also look at the other side. That is not too long that the Ghanaian government pulled down Nigeria's house, which is just a stone throw to the headquarters of the police. And they claimed and they feigned ignorance and all of that. Today, everything appears to be under the carpet. And we are watching. Can we survive under this particular environment? Is there any survival in this place? Our people have had their meetings therefore, and we have come to a resolution that this place is no place for Nigerians to live.
However, it's very, very critical at this point that the government of Nigeria should take a decisive decision. We would like to stay. I myself have lived in Ghana for 25 good years. Of course, you know that my route have gone down. But since they don't want us to live there peacefully, I think I have no other choice to say that I can also come back to restart my life. I think it's better to restart here in Nigeria than to die in Ghana and be brought home in cups. We are really facing danger.
They have received this, but this is not a decision that NIDCOM can take alone. We will pass your message to the relevant ministers, Interior, Foreign Affairs, Trade and Investment, and of course the President, because he's very much aware and on top of this situation. Like you said, there's been engagement at the highest level, at the very highest level, that your shops are still closed is beyond anybody's imagination. However, I know tempers are high, and we're proud of you, and this is home. But we also know that it's very difficult to uproot what you've built for years and just say, I'm coming back, you know, more so out of frustration of what this country has done to you. So I'm still optimistic that this can be resolved. You know, so I hope that we won't be setting a bad precedent. That 735 Nigerian traders working legitimately, you know, will have to be first to return back to Nigeria. We'll be glad to receive you because this is home. But at the same time, I don't think that is what should happen. If you want to leave, it's not because they are frustrating you, but because it's time to leave, you know, on your own. But trust us at NIDCOM, we're going to continue to engage with the ministries, our, you know, superior ministers to come back to you while we continue the dialogue. Because I know President Buhari is still dialoguing with the president of Ghana, who has an election to carry out. We'll continue to work with you to ensure that your best interest is taken care of.
Quite unfortunate. We hope the authorities act fast and accordingly too. Let's go on a quick break. I'll be back shortly.
Not so fast.
Look, I'm tired. I want to check out of this country for greener pastures.
Just calm down for a moment. Please sit down. Do you have a job where you're going to?
No, but someone is arranging,
Listen, Alinko. Checking out of this country without proper planning means one thing. Unimaginable begin. You know, I've been in the diaspora, but legitimately doing great things at home and abroad. As I've been saying, without the proper footing abroad, the risk is not worth it. Listen, Alinko, it's better to be home than be trapped abroad, or even end up in prison.
Welcome back. If you must travel, please travel legitimately. And now I will leave you with more reports from the just concluded States Diaspora Focal Points Officers Summit.
We in Plateau State are trying to establish a befitting office, and this is work in progress. But I can see the governor from our discussions very passionate about setting a diaspora office expected of a 21st century office with all that is required in order to make Plateau very, very much active in the diaspora activities. Chairman, I want to assure you, very soon you will see your footprints in Plateau and you will see the governor's footprints too. The most active branch of Plateau in diaspora are those in the USA. They have made several visits, bringing in computers and organizing a lot of training in the schools, training the trainers and all sorts of training and how teachers can improve their teaching skills. The diaspora have also been very active in health initiatives, bringing in free medical outreaches, free medical equipments, and so on. The governor too wishes to state here, through my humble self, that the Plateau people in diaspora have been very, very well behaved. No cases of drugs, no cases of cyber crime, no cases of human trafficking. And the governor wishes to make it abundantly clear that he takes no credit for this great behavior, but attributes this achievement solely to God's grace and gives glory to God.
Keep the good work rolling. A very big congratulations to Dr. Robert Okogie, who was recently inducted into the National Aeronautics and Space Administration NASA Hall of Fame. He joined the SIC research group at NASA Glenn Research Center, Cleveland, Ohio in August 1999 as an electronics engineer, primarily responsible for developing high-temperature microsensors and enabling metal contacts and packaging technologies.
The federal government has announced new guidelines for international travelers coming to Nigeria, effective from September 18, 2020. Before departure, all travelers coming to Nigeria must Take a COVID-19 PCR test at an accredited laboratory in the country of departure not more than 5 days before boarding. Only PCR tests will be accepted. Travelers with a PCR test result of more than 5 days or 120 hours or with COVID-19 symptoms will not be allowed to board. Within 3 days before boarding, register on the Nigeria International Travel Portal. Complete and submit the health declaration and self-reporting form online with a valid phone number and address. Update information on diplomats and children under age 10 separately. Next, upload the negative PCR test result on the portal. Choose a sample collection center and then book an appointment date where the mandatory self-isolation will be observed in Nigeria. Payment for the repeat PCR test to be done 7 days after arrival is to be made online on the portal, after which a QR code access report will be generated. It is strongly recommended that payment be made online before boarding. Payment on arrival in Nigeria can lead to long delays before exiting the airport. For issues with payment, visit saferports.com, My Traveler Record. On arrival in Nigeria, passengers are required to undergo port health screening and present electronic or printout QR code evidence. Travelers developing symptoms on arrival or during screening will be placed in institutional quarantine for appropriate care. From the airport, proceed to the 7-day mandatory self-isolation and avoid all physical interaction with others. During isolation, be available by telephone, as travelers will be monitored by public health officers and should check their emails and text messages regularly for updates from the selected laboratory for their repeat PCR tests. On day 7, have samples taken for the repeat PCR test at the selected sample collection center. Passengers are required to provide a valid means of identification. Travelers who test positive for COVID-19 will be managed based on national guidelines for treatment. Those who test negative after 7 days can end self-isolation. Be advised that those who fail to repeat the PCR test by day 14 may face suspension of their passports, inclusion on a travel no-fly list, or be denied international travel for 6 months. Get 24/7 support. Please take responsibility. This message is from the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 in collaboration with CACOVID.
Congratulations, brother. Greater heights. Thank you for staying all through the program. We hope it's been worth your while. And in case you have anything to share with us, please do not hesitate to do so, as we expect feedback on our show. Remember, you can reach us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook at Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, on Twitter at NIDCOM_gov, on our Instagram page at NIDCOM_gov, on our YouTube page at NIDCOM_gov, and on our website at www.nidcom.gov.ng. You can also join us on DSTV at NTA Network on Friday at 10:30 a.m., on NTA International on Tuesday at 6 a.m. and 10:05 p.m., on NTA News 24 on Friday at 2:30 p.m., and on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. You can also join us on WAP TV on Thursdays at 9 a.m. and on WTV on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 a.m. And you can also join us on Ben TV London at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. I remain your host, Koinsola Adetumbi. See you next time.